Let's take a quick look at how we use the idea of phases and tasks to assign a work breakdown structure to our semester project in a class like this. So here's a basic system engineering lifecycle plan broken out by phase. So always start with your phases. Make sure you understand how much time you have for each phase and how they might overlap as they see their way through. So from project initiation through conceptual design, preliminary design, detailed design, system test and evaluation, as well as project closeout. So those are the phases I'm going to take my project through. Why do I give them this kind of time frame? So I've estimated a number of days for each. Well, this is a class project, so it's actually constrained. So if I open up my task to include my milestones, I'll see why those constraints exist. Here are the actual project assignments. The 6 project assignments have to be turned in on the assignment and the day they happen to be due in this particular spring 2021 semester. So dates will change obviously in the future, but these assignments 2, 4, 7, 10, 13, and 15 are due on these days and they're phase oriented. So that sets a constraint on how much time I can plan into each project phase as I go through. So it makes my project actually quite simple as I go through because of that constraint. So if I open up this up now and look at my entire project plan, you'll see that all I've done is I've, for each phase, gone through and made a list of what are the basic activities I need to do in the phase and roughly the order I want to do them in. Are there activities in the phase I should be doing that aren't listed here? Of course there are. I'm not trying to be exhaustive in the extreme, but I'm trying to say to myself, if I've only got, for instance, 11 days to do my conceptual system design, it has to be done by February 6th, what am I going to do? I might spend a day analyzing the mission, a couple of days on the stakeholders, maybe 4 days on their requirements, a couple of days doing stock and flow analysis, a couple of days on use case analysis, and from there I should be able to put together my system concept fairly well. If I'm doing a 16-day preliminary design, remember that date is constrained by the due dates of the assignments. So I know I've got that many days. I can do the functions that come out of stock and flow might take 4 days. The functions that come out of my life cycle based analysis might take 6 days. The functions I would do to drive my non-functional performance requirements might take a few. I've got some additional functional to technical cross-referencing I probably want to be doing, and that's about 2 days, allowing me to turn in my preliminary design on time as I go through. Likewise, for my detailed design, I can finalize my architecture. And here I've got a set of activities for coming up with detailed designs of my components. I put them each at 10 days rather than set up any kind of linear dependency because they're not really dependent on each other. They really are parallel tasks that I should just work on all of these things for the 10 days to come up with my specs. And finally scrolling down, I've got adding my test plans back to the different pieces and turning that assignment in on time. And the final phase, perhaps writing up my management summary and literature review, editing and cleaning up everything I've got, and turning in that final project report at the end of April. So again, the project plan is fairly easy to develop because it's date constrained by the project assignments, which happen to be phase based. So that gives me my amount of time. So what I did is I listed the main activities I need to be working on and the number of days for each. This isn't gospel. I can certainly do my plan a different way. But if I'm 6 days into the conceptual design activity starting in late January and I still haven't even finished the first 2 tasks, I know I'm falling behind. And that's the purpose of the plan, is to give you visibility into whether you're on schedule or falling behind or not. So again, I'm in Microsoft Project here. If I bring back the milestone view, that's a fairly reasonable project plan for moving forward and conducting my project during a semester project.